Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing an updated Draw My Life video. First, I just want to apologize for the quality because it was really dark when I decided to film this because I'm stupid. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the very beginning, all the way from birth. So on August 23rd in 1993, around 8:30ish in the evening, I decided to make my appearance into the world and baby Bree was born. My legal name is BreeAnn, B-R-E-E capital A-N-N, all together. That is how my name is actually spelled. And for those of you who are wondering where I live in Michigan in the United States of America. Love where I'm from, love Michigan, so 2 thumbs up this video if you also live in Michigan. That would be super cool. So then we have my mom, Vicky, and my dad, Doug, which basically they are the 2 most amazing people in the entire world, and also very short. My mom's 4'11" and my dad's 5'4". When those 2 people meet and they have Bree, you get someone who is 4'6". So my parents were actually never married. They were never they were just never married. So my mom had his house, my mom had her house, or my dad, whatever, you know. Yeah, they just kind of lived apart and had 2 kids together, basically. And another thing that's pretty interesting about my parents is when I was born, my dad was 54 and my mom was around 34. So there is a 20-year age difference between my parents. I know, kind of crazy, but yeah, just kind of a fun fact. So growing up with my dad was basically one of the best experiences ever because since my dad was on the older side, I grew up around a lot of Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, just really good music and really good movies. It was just really good. I loved growing up with that stuff and I'm glad I got to. And then on the glorious day of March 30th in 1995, my baby sister Brooke was born, and she is my full-blooded sister, and we are best friends, and I honestly don't know what in God's name I would do without that girl because I love her so very much. And another fun thing that people don't know about me is I actually have a total of 5 siblings. So there's me, my sister Brooke, which we are full blood sisters, which means we have the same mom and dad. And then my mom had a son back in the 80s named Brandon, so he is my half brother. And then I have 2 half brothers from my dad's side, Derek, Jason, and 1 half sister, Wendy. So yeah, those are my half siblings. Not a lot of people know about them because I don't talk about them. Brandon lives on the other side of the world, and Derek, Jason, and Wendy, they have their own lives going on. So I just don't really mention them that often, but I do love them very much. Now moving on to the wonderful and glorious childhood. Weekends were basically the best time of my life because I would spend them at my dad's house with my sister, where we would basically, you know, do all kinds of fun stuff. And during the weekdays, I was with my mom, which she obviously was the stricter parent. Like I went to school with, you know, from my mom's house, and I went to my dad's house to have fun, basically. So growing up was a lot of fun. Me and my sister and my dad would go on a whole bunch of little adventures. We'd go to Michigan's Adventure every summer. We would go to the beach. We would just have a blast, just doing all sorts of fun stuff. And then when we weren't doing anything exciting, we were basically playing house, coloring, watching movies, just things like that. So basically my childhood, when I think of my childhood, I think of my dad because I had the best times with my dad. And here's my attempt at drawing a roller coaster. I know, it's pathetic. Now moving on to the sappy, sad embarrassing stuff. My childhood wasn't always a fun and perfect one. Unfortunately, my dad struggled with alcoholism for a very, very large majority of his life. He would start drinking early in the morning and would just start drinking all day. And as time went on, his drinking got worse, and it absolutely broke my heart. But as a young kid, I actually thought that was the normal. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it because I didn't really know the full gravity of the situation until I was about maybe 13, 14 years old, and I saw the effects that alcohol had on my dad, and I realized that there was definitely a problem, and my sister realized it too. It was just not good, but for the longest time I thought it was a normal thing, which is sad. And then the summer of 2009 happened. One morning I woke up, and for some reason I just had a horrible feeling in my gut, and it was about my dad. I knew something was wrong with my dad, and my dad lived in a totally other city. I told my mom to go check on my dad, to go to his apartment and, see what was wrong, because I just knew something was wrong. So when my mom got to his apartment, his door was wide open and he was not inside. So we called the police, we filled out missing person, whatever. And finally we called around 2 hospitals, and my dad was actually taken to a hospital. He was walking down the street and had passed out. Thankfully, someone was still awake at 2:00 in the morning and saw him and called an ambulance. Safe to say he almost died. His sugar was at 26, which is extremely, extremely low, so it was horrible. So after about a month in the hospital and recovering, he went to a little rehab facility, and I am very, very happy and very proud to say that my dad is happy, healthy, and of course sober. That is the most important thing, and I'm so thrilled. It was honestly a miracle from God that he survived, because his alcoholism was it was just really, really bad, and I'm so happy to see him happy and sober, and I love having my dad back. Now, not only were there problems with my dad at his house, there were also problems at home. My mom has always been someone to struggle in relationships. There have been a lot of bad people come in and out of our lives together, and me and my sister witnessed a lot of very, very awful things as kids. Things that no kid should really see, and no child should ever have to see their mom like this. I can always remember growing up seeing my mom sad, crying, and being abused by just horrible people, both emotional, physical, and verbal. It was just sickening, but that's just how I got used to growing up, and it completely and totally broke mine and my sister's heart. We didn't really know how to cope with it, to be honest, but things happen, and this is just my life. But things got better, I promise. So yeah, if you witness these kind of similar things, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just yeah, those guys were just all fucking assholes. So after making the decision to leave the situation that we were in, we packed our things and we decided to leave what was called home for a very long time, which means me, my mom, and my sister were homeless. We were living in hotel rooms. It was just not a good time. Then it was time to roll around into the 4th grade in school, which by then we moved to Byron Center, Michigan, which is basically the worst town in the world. I absolutely hate Byron Center. I never liked it. It's basically just, how do I describe it? Basically by drawing this picture basically sums it up, but it's basically one big giant hick town, and people there are very stuck up, very snobby, and I just fucking hated that town. But I ended up going to school there, so yay me. But eventually things got better later on in the year, because I did end up making a few friends, and I made a couple best friends that I still kind of talk to this day, but not really. And I started to feel happy. Things were starting to stabilize in my life. My mom was getting better, and everything was just good and dandy. But then 8th grade came, and that basically all changed. So let's talk about it. 8th grade is kind of when I went through that I hate the world like phase, you know what I mean? Like black clothes, black hair, black nail polish, you know, like rock music, like fuck everybody, just things like that, you know, the typical 8th grade teenage phase that some people go through. And that's basically when I'm not going to say bullying because I think that term is way overused, but people made fun of me a lot for it. They would call me emo, they would say I cut myself and just laugh at me, and it was just really pathetic now that I look back on it, but you know, whatever. So I made the decision to say fuck you to public school, and this is when I made the decision to go to a charter school, which I would never recommend to anybody because charter school was 10 times worse. I hated going to charter school. It was just horrible. Parents used to go out to my mom's car at the end of the day and say that they would pray for me because I look scary. So just fuck charter schools. Everyone there is just way too judgmental. So between the ages of 12 and 16, I treated my mom like absolute trash. Basically, she would get called names by me. I would disobey her. I would disrespect her. I was just not very nice to my mom growing up. My sister didn't really have this problem. I don't know why I was so angry. I just had a lot of pent-up aggression towards my mom for giving me the childhood that she did. So when I was 16 years old, I went to this place called The Bridge. If you have ever heard of it, you know exactly what it is, but it is basically a place for teenagers who have like anger issues and need like counseling. Safe to say I wasn't very excited about it, but I decided to do it anyway. And I remember this being so freaking creepy because they had like bars on the windows with like alarms on them, so you couldn't ever open up your window, and basically you had like a bed with like a bookshelf and blankets. And you weren't allowed to shave your legs, you weren't allowed to have razors or anything in the showers, and you had like a shower time limit. It was just really weird, and then you also had to go through therapy and, you know, all that jazz. So in the beginning, it's safe to say that I was very overwhelmed, very sad, very angry, and just not very confident in myself. But I will give The Bridge a huge thumbs up because towards the end of my stay there, I actually realized that, you know, I need my mom more than anything. And, you know, before I was a very angry person. I was just upset at everything and everyone. And afterwards, I had some sort of, you know, change happen to me, and I didn't need to be so angry anymore. So yeah, it was a good time. I look back on it now and I don't regret it at all. And me and my mom got along better. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but you know, it was a lot better than before. And especially now to this day, I do my best. But we're pretty close now, I would say. Now moving on to the glorious and lovely days of high school, which I also hated. I freaking hated high school. But basically, when I went back to high school after leaving the charter school, I had no friends at all. I was basically a loner, an outcast. I would eat lunch in the hallway. I would go to class by myself. Except for senior year, I had one friend who I hung out with that whole year, so that was good, I guess. But you know, then May of 2012 rolled around, which was basically the best day of my entire life, and that is the day that I graduated from Byron Center High School. Yes, I did it. I wasn't supposed to graduate, I'll just throw that out there, but I did end up graduating, and it was seriously one of the biggest accomplishments of my entire life. I know that may sound kind of weird to some of you, especially those of you who are going to college, but yeah, I was pretty freaking stoked to graduate, I must say. And for those of you who are going to ask about college, I made the decision in 7th grade that I would never go to college, and still to this day at 23 years old, I'm still very, very thankful that I didn't go to college. I think it's a waste of time and money. Then later in 2012, I actually discovered my love for doing YouTube videos. I basically started my YouTube channel in November of 2012, which is when I found a huge aspiration for piercings and tattoos and beauty videos and just making YouTube videos in general, just like filming, editing, and uploading. I just absolutely loved to do that kind of stuff, so that's when I kind of really kicked off my channel, and my subscribers, my views and comments went up, and it made me super happy and excited and super stoked. And eventually I became a partner with YouTube, which back in that day you had to apply for it, but you could basically do whatever you want on YouTube now. But I was pretty excited about it. I felt pretty accomplished. And also in 2012 I became a mom, two fur babies. So get your mind out of the gutter, kids. Basically, I have two little tiny dogs. I have Jackal and Motley, my two very special boys. I have a 6-year-old Chihuahua Terrier mix. If you watch my vlogs, you see them. And then I have a 4-year-old purebred Chihuahua. So those are my little babies, and they are literally my soul, my life, my entire world. I love them so much, and I would seriously be an emotional wreck without them. Like, they are just amazing. They're assholes to other people, but to me, they're amazing. And then in 2015, which was basically the best year ever, I loved 2015 for some reason. It was just a really good year for me. I actually got my very first job last April of 2015, and that is working in a coffee shop where I make coffees, lattes, cappuccinos, yeah, all that good stuff. And I absolutely love my job. I have never had a job before this one, so it being my first job and me loving it, I thought that was pretty awesome. So I thought I would mention that in here because I love it. I don't know, not many people can say that, so it was just really great. And also, out of having this job, I made so many friends with all my coworkers. I work with such awesome people, and I really don't know what I would do without them, because 2016 has been a rough year so far, and having them in my life just, makes things better. And then also in April 2015, I had a cancer scare. If you guys have followed me for a long time, then you would know that in that time, 2 tumors were found in my left breast, unfortunately, and I had to have all sorts of tests and biopsies and ultrasounds and exams done on them. It was very scary, but luckily, the results were fine, and they actually turned out to be 2 fibroadenoma tumors, which are basically benign and can't turn into cancer. I do still have them to this day. They do just kind of hang out in my left boob, but hey, that's just one thing that happened that made me a little bit more of a stronger person. And then fast forwarding to August of 2015, I reached over 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is just freaking mind-blowing and insane. I can't freaking believe that happened to me. I literally started YouTube just out of the whim, and I was just like, we'll see how this goes. And now I have over 140. It's just absolutely crazy. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, moving on to now, I have a job that I love, a YouTube channel that I'm very passionate about. I have friends, and I have my own apartment. I have my puppies. I have just everything in the world going for me right now, and life is getting so much better every single day, and I'm just really happy and really thankful. And like I said, I have struggles, but each day is getting better for me. 2016 has been very rough, but I'm just very grateful for everything that I have and for everything that I have went through. It's made me a lot more stronger as a person, and I have matured 1,000% because of everything. It's crazy. And then, but most of all, I'm going to be super cheesy and say that I'm thankful for every single one of you, because seriously, if it wasn't for you guys encouraging me and supporting me through my YouTube channel, I would have quit a long time ago. So I really am here with you guys, and I wouldn't be here without you guys or YouTube. It's been absolutely amazing. God has definitely blessed me, and He has blessed me with every single one of you and every single opportunity that I have been given in my life. It's amazing. So I love you all very much. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys for every view, every comment, anything, just saying hi to me. I greatly appreciate it. So make sure you go down and you thumbs up, and don't forget to go down and to also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on anything else. Yes, it's free, so make sure you go down and subscribe. Make sure you do that. And also don't forget to leave a comment and tell me what you thought of this video. Other than that, I'm going to take off. I love you all very much. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video.